February the 25th, 1957, Belmar, New Jersey. 3-year-old Mary Jane Barker had wandered up the road to her friend's house. 6-year-old Maria Fretter had just got herself a puppy, a black spaniel called Dee. Mary Jane was playing with the puppy in Maria's front yard, close enough to her own house that her mum could see her from the back window. And around 10 o'clock, Mary Jane's mum popped inside to answer the phone. A few minutes later, she looked back, and Mary Jane and the little spaniel were gone. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Yorkshire Storyteller. This is the disappearance of Mary Jane Barker. Mary Jane had been a lively, tomboyish little lass, independent, outgoing, and always curious. She loved animals and would often run up to strangers just to pet their dogs. When her mum realised Mary Jane was missing, she gathered a few neighbours and started searching. At first, they thought Mary Jane had simply wandered off a bit further than usual, maybe to pet another dog. But as the search continued, it became clear Mary Jane was truly missing. By midday, the police were informed. Patrol cars scoured the surrounding streets and fields, but still there was no sign of her. As the days went on, neighbours and older school children joined in, searching gardens and peeking into houses. They hunted tirelessly, hour after hour, until midnight. The next morning, bloodhounds were brought in, hoping to pick up Mary Jane's scent. 2 FBI agents joined the investigation, and over 500 local people pitched in. By 5 o'clock that evening, a possible clue emerged. As the search extended along Big Timber Creek, footprints were discovered in the mud. A man, a dog, and a small child had walked together. The child's prints were measured against Mary Jane's shoes, and they were a perfect match. Authorities now seriously considered the possibility that she had been kidnapped. The following day, Wednesday, was meant to be Mary Jane's 4th birthday. Her parents had a cake ready, but with Mary Jane still missing, they used it to make a public appeal on radio and live television. Sitting in front of the cake with 4 candles lit, they begged, "Please give us the only birthday present we want. We want you to bring Putsy back so she can have her birthday with her family." Putsy, of course, was Mary Jane's nickname. Leads started to come in. A local shopkeeper reported serving a drunk man with a little girl in his car who looked just like Mary Jane. A priest said he saw a tall woman carrying an unconscious child matching her description only a few streets from where she had vanished. Every lead was followed, but each one ended up in a dead end. By Thursday, more volunteers joined the search. The FBI organised them into teams, instructing them carefully on how to search the area. Thursday turned into Friday, Friday into Saturday. Hope of finding Mary Jane alive was fading fast. Despite the massive effort, no trace of her could be found. By Sunday, 6 days after she disappeared, volunteers were searching even the local dump, fearing the worst. Now, to understand what happened next, we need to picture the street where Mary Jane was last seen. That morning, she was playing in the front yard with her friend, 6-year-old Maria Fretter, and Maria's brand new puppy, Dee. Maria lived with her parents in one of 2 brand new houses that stood side by side. Right next door was another house, owned by Maria's aunt and uncle, Pat and Helen Vecchia. The Vecchias hadn't moved in yet because there was still some work being finished inside, sanding, painting and cleaning. So for that week, the house stood empty, though it was unlocked and easy to wander into. By Sunday, March the 3rd, the building work was finally complete. That afternoon, both the Fretter family and the Vecchia family went inside to look around the freshly finished ranch house. While the grown-ups chatted in one of the rooms, little Maria ran ahead into the front bedroom to explore. At that time, no one knew exactly where Mary Jane had gone that morning, and there's no record of Maria being able to explain what happened or where Mary Jane had wandered. Then, as Maria opened the built-in closet door, Dee, the missing puppy, came bounding out, barking and wagging his tail. And there, inside the closet, she saw her friend, Mary Jane Barker, sitting lifeless on the floor. It seemed the mystery of Mary Jane's disappearance had been solved. She hadn't been kidnapped, she'd simply wandered off into an empty house and somehow become trapped in the closet, where she slowly wasted away, dying of starvation and fear. Yet the discovery raised more questions than it answered. The closet door wasn't locked, it had a small stiff thumb latch, which police believed was too tricky for a 4-year-old to twist. If she couldn't turn the latch, how had she managed to pull the door and close it behind her? Then there was Dee, the dog. When the closet door was opened, she was in remarkably high spirits. If she'd been locked in there for 6 days without food or water, how could she have possibly had been so energetic? Tragically, Dee's story didn't end well. The dog was taken from the family and kept without food or water for another 18 hours. While authorities tried to figure out if she'd been fed during Mary Jane's disappearance. Eventually, Dee was euthanized, and an autopsy showed her stomach contained nothing but bits of pencil and gravel, a grim mirror to Mary Jane's own autopsy, which revealed she hadn't eaten a single thing apart from the chocolate milk that her mother gave her that Monday morning. Experts estimated Mary Jane had survived 3 to 4 days in that closet. A dog could live longer, but how Dee seemed full of energy after 6 days remains a mystery. Another puzzle concerned the state of the closet floor. Reports say it was clean, despite a child and puppy being trapped inside there for days. And finally, there's the question that haunts everyone. Why wasn't Mary Jane found sooner? The Vettier house had been searched multiple times in the days after her disappearance, but somehow she remained hidden. Some reports mention 2 men, Reeves and Santello, who searched the basement and heating areas while others checked the rest of the house, yet no one discovered the front bedroom where she had been trapped. Police Chief Edward Garrity later tried to track down these men to understand why the closet had been missed, but their identities and actions remain unclear. Adding to the confusion, Reverend Harry McIntyre entered the house at 9:30 a.m. on Tuesday after Mary Jane went missing. He reported opening closets in 2 bedrooms, but not the front bedroom where Mary Jane was eventually found. Some reports suggest that Mary Jane's body had been placed in the closet only shortly before she was found. The condition of the puppy and the girl's body, and the fact that the house had been previously searched, made police think she might have been carried there from somewhere else. The coroner estimated that she'd been dead for a few days after she was found, so how could she have been placed there recently? The coroner eventually issued a certificate of accidental death, starvation and exposure. There were no signs of violence, molestation, or that Mary Jane had been anywhere else other than the closet. The real mystery remained though. How did she get in there, and why was she not found for 6 whole days? If she couldn't close the door herself, someone else must have done it. A couple of suspects were considered. One theory suggests it might have been Mary Jane's friend, 6-year-old Maria Fretta. Mary Jane had been playing with Maria's puppy, so Maria was likely there too. Perhaps they were playing hide and seek, and Maria closed Mary Jane in the closet as a prank. Once Mary Jane was reported missing, Maria might have felt too scared to come forward. There was another suspect, 43-year-old Bear Lovering, a 43-year-old known sex offender in the area. He'd been arrested for molesting an 8-year-old on the same day Mary Jane disappeared, and he was questioned extensively. For a time, he was the prime suspect, but after careful examination of his car, it showed no hairs or evidence of Mary Jane or the puppy was ever there, so he was ruled out. However, on the Friday before Mary Jane's body was found, the police got a chilling call. Someone demanded $500 for the safe return of Mary Jane Barker. Naturally, suspicion fell on Bear Lovering, and he was brought in for questioning once more. One intriguing detail from Lovering's interrogation was that he admitted being very close to Mary Jane's house at around 10:30 a.m. on that Monday morning, the exact time she disappeared. Could Lovering have trapped Mary Jane in that closet, planning to return later? We'll likely never know how Mary Jane ended up trapped in that closet, or why nobody heard her cries for help. What we do know is grim. Dying of starvation and dehydration is one of the most horrific ways to go. And that's how little Mary Jane Barker died, most likely on her 4th birthday, just meters from home, while the frantic shouts of people searching for her rang out nearby. Okay, that's all we've got time for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoy what I do here, feel free to follow and subscribe and leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Cheers.